Yeah, hi everybody. Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist again. I've made up a compilation of videos that will complement where Australia, the Australian government, is headed with the National Redress Scheme and the accountability of these organisations to be involved. They're not just going to let them walk away. I'm going to start with the Australian Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, who's 100% behind what's happening. He's the driving force. And then we're going to look across some different national news headlines, and you'll see on one of them they've warned any organisations that do not join this redress are going to be pursued.
The children who deserve to be safe, but whose lives were shockingly impacted by cruel and evil people who perpetrated violence that is difficult to comprehend. But we have to confront the truth that has been revealed, as difficult as it is. And the Royal Commission validated the stories of the survivors. It enabled survivors to be heard and, most importantly, to be believed. We believe you. These are the most important things we must say, and we must say them from our heart, because the survivors, the victims of these shocking crimes, these shocking wrongs over so many years, were not believed. The crime, the assault, was compounded again and again by indifference and resistance, by legal obstacles, by institutional denial. Now, they were covered up and ignored. Now, today, we are seeking to provide redress for those shocking crimes.
Okay, now we're going to see the ones that haven't joined the redress yet. They haven't joined the redress yet. Let's take a look at this. And they've been put on warning by the Australian government. And guess who's at the top of the list? The Jehovah's Witnesses.
Largely signed up.
I would love to welcome representatives from the Anglican Church, the Scouts, the YMCA and the Salvation Army, who are here to announce that they will be joining the National Redress Scheme.
We can't change the past for survivors, but we can change their future.
With today's signatories, the Catholic Church and most states and territories, the government says 80% of children sexually abused in institutions are now covered. Amongst those yet to join are the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Uniting Church and other religious groups. And the pressure is on.
I will encourage all those groups to join the scheme. If they don't, they will be the ones who will have to publicly defend their stance.
Amongst those yet to join are the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Uniting Church and other religious groups. And the pressure is on.
I will encourage all those groups to join the scheme. If they don't, they will be the ones who will have to publicly defend their stand.
I just can't get over the actual defiance of the Watchtower and society and the governing body, their defiance. The Australian government's put them on warning. If you don't front up, you will make a public explanation of why you haven't.
Now, do you recognise, Mr. Jackson, and in asking this question, let me make it clear, I'm not suggesting it's peculiar to the Jehovah's Witness organisation. There are many, many organisations in this position. But do you accept that the Jehovah's Witness organisation has a problem with child abuse amongst its members?
I accept that child abuse is a problem right throughout the community, and it's something that we've had to deal with as well.
And do you accept that it's presented, I withdraw that, do you accept that the manner in which your organisation has dealt with allegations of child sexual abuse has also presented problems?
There have been changes in policies over the last 20 or 30 years where we've tried to address some of those problem areas, and by the fact that we've changed the policy would indicate that the original policies weren't perfect.
Amongst those yet to join are the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Uniting Church and other religious groups. And the pressure is on.
I will encourage all those groups to join the scheme. If they don't, they will be the ones who will have to publicly defend their stance.
And you accept, of course, that your organisation, including people in positions of responsibility like elders, are not immune from the problem of child sexual abuse?
That appears to be the case.
And do you accept, Mr. Jackson, that many of the efforts that are being made by different people and organizations to highlight the issue of child sexual abuse and try and find solutions are genuine efforts to improve the situation?
I do accept that, and that's why I'm happy to testify.
And that such efforts are not necessarily an attack on your organization or its system of beliefs?
We understand that too.
You lied earlier in your testimony that the work of this Royal Commission is beneficial. Do you accept then that the Royal Commission's efforts are genuine and well-intentioned?
I certainly do. And that's why we came into the Royal Commission hoping that collectively something would come forward that would help us as well as everybody else.
Amongst those yet to join are the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Uniting Church and other religious groups. And the pressure is on.
I will encourage all those groups to join the scheme. If they don't, they will be the ones who will have to publicly defend their stance.
And would you disagree then with anyone who said that the efforts to highlight and deal with child sexual abuse in the Jehovah's Witness Church is engaging in apostate lies?
As an example, think about the apostate-driven lies and dishonesties that Jehovah's organization is permissive toward pedophiles. I mean, that is ridiculous, isn't it? If anybody takes action against someone who would threaten our young ones and takes action to protect our young ones, it's Jehovah's organization. We reject outright such lies.
And now we're going to see some of the organisations that have taken accountability.
The Anglican Church of Australia has reached an in-principle agreement to join the National Redress Scheme. The Standing Committee of General Synod of our church is encouraging all dioceses, schools and agencies of the church to join this scheme as quickly as possible.
Scouts Australia is committed to ensuring that all survivors of child sexual abuse have access to the National Redress Scheme and that their experience of this process is restorative.
We can't change the past for survivors, but we can change their future. An effective National Redress Scheme is a critical part of ensuring justice and healing for survivors. The YMCA hopes the survivors of institutional child sexual abuse will finally feel heard, have the support and recognition they deserve.
We acknowledge that past practices and procedures led in many cases to the failure of the protection of children, and we are profoundly sorry for the harm which survivors have suffered. And we also acknowledge we have broken the trust that has been placed by the Australian community in the Salvation Army, and we are now seeking all ways to rebuild that.
So you can see it's not hard to be accountable, but it is if you're living in denial. And unfortunately, that's what the Jehovah's Witnesses are doing. In closing, while I think the National Redress Scheme is to help those that have been abused, I think the government is using it as a pathway into seeing which organisations are going to be accountable and which ones aren't. And they're going to hold these organisations accountable if they don't step up to this scheme. This is how they're going to see who the genuine ones are and who the evil ones are. So I'll keep you posted if I see anything in the Australian news. Bye for now. Yeah, Dr. Jason Morrison, theologist again. I just want to say thank you for watching the videos, and I hope you got plenty of self-rediscovery and freedom out of it. If you watched it on YouTube, please share or like, maybe even comment. If you watched it on Facebook, like, comment, share. But most of all, get out and live. This isn't a rehearsal. You've got a one-off life. Don't let your loyalty and your faithfulness blind you to the life that you should be experiencing. Till the next video, thank you for watching, and bye for now.